Welcome back to another episode of British Lingua, the talk show. I am Karthik. Today we have with us the Managing Director of British Lingua, Dr. Birbal Jha. He is author to many books, and today we are going to talk about a new book which he is working on, English for Social Justice in India. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, tell me your book, what is it all about? The new book which you are working on.
The book is about social justice through English education. It is because you see, when you talk about justice, means you say opportunities for all, for equality for all, the progress for all. Everybody should get the equal rights for prosperity, for their living, for their employment, for their life. In India, English plays a better role, which should not be, but this is the fact here, that in our country, English plays a very linked language. It's an integrating language. It is because we are living in a multilingual society. There are as many as 1,652 languages in the country. It is difficult for one to know all these languages. So one language has to stood the test of the time, because if you are from south, and if you are asked to know the languages in the north, they are reluctant. Vice versa, the people of north, they are not ready to learn Kannada, Malayalam, Telugu and so on. However, it is difficult also for one to know all the languages. But as far as English is concerned, so it becomes a linked language under a trilingual formula in our country. As we have the three language formula, everybody expected to know at least three languages. At the same time, English is said to be elitist language, means the language of the elite class in our society. Those who belong to affluent families send their children to English medium schools, but what about those who cannot afford to go to English medium schools? They get deprived of these opportunities, and then the justice is denied. So this book accounts for how English plays a role in social uplifting, providing opportunities. Okay, how Ambedkar adopted English, he is embraced, he flourished, how Gandhi has a bearing on his life as far as English language is concerned. So this book delves deep into that. So English for social justice in India.
Wow, such a nice thought, sir.
Thank you.
But sir, here are some critics that they feel that you are encouraging a language which is still considered a privilege to most of Indians.
Well, critics of course will be doing their role. They must come forward, and whatever the critical views they have, they are open to do that. But I'm not encouraging English. I'm not discouraging any other languages. What I have done and I'm doing through the book is to draw a clear picture in the society.
Right.
So how English played a role yesterday, how English is playing a role today. This is here. And it would have been much better if English would have been eradicated from our country. That could not happen. Right. And if it is not, even today, if we discard English, and if English is not needed in our society, that must be a idealistic approach, a idealistic position. But if you can't, then let the bounty of English must percolate down through the lowest strata of our society. This is what I'm trying to do. Thank you.
All right. So is there reluctance about spreading the English education despite its critical role in advancing the larger cause?
Yes, there has been. It is because if you say Lohia school of thought, Angrezi Hatao movement was there long back. So English was to be eradicated, just drive away English there. In UP, the English typewriters, etc., they were thrown out of the offices.
Right.
What happened? The state like UP, Delhi, Bihar, which embraced that idea, English Hatao Andolan. lagged behind as far as English education is concerned. What happens? You begin to create the unskilled laborers in our society. But those who embraced, those who adopted there, they got the fair share in our society. So there was a deliberate reluctance that English would not prosper, right, here in our country. But this idea flopped. The vision may have been good, but it was not implemented. So people in general, those from the deprived section, those who are the poor, they become victim. They were victimized because of that. This is what I tried to present in that book. They too should get an opportunity to live a good life, quality life. So if you talk about science and technology and other aspects here, that you find everywhere English is there. Sure. So you cannot ignore this fact, but rather you have to admit the truth of life.
Right.
Thank you.
Right. Those from marginalized sections are deprived of this link language. Do you agree?
Yeah, of course they are. It's not my survey here. A lot of survey has been conducted in the country that the marginalized sections of the society, that the deprived section of the society, of course, they didn't get proper access to English education. What happens in their families? Unskilled laborers are there. But on contrary, those who adopted have got a fair share and they flourished in our society. So of course we have to admit the fact that and that the advantage of English must be taken to them. So English must be taken to the common man in India. Can you dare to say that the trilingual formula, means three language formula, will be abolished in the country? You can't. In 1963 you passed the Language Act, I mean Government of India, where English was declared to be a language for infinite time. So when you are declared, the English has to continue there. And when it is continuous, so what happens? Especially in the government schools, where the poor children go there. I was one of them where I studied in a poor, government school. But I have seen the attention is not paid there. So quality education is not provided. So this is a call for them. Government must wake up to the need. We must wake up to the need. The society will progress only when each and every section of the society gets an opportunity to live a good life, to progress. That is the need here. This book accounts for that very thing.
Right.
Thank you.
Right. What about claims and accusations of promoting English language at the cost of regional languages, which includes Hindi too?
Well, you see, there will be some persons who will be claiming like that, but I refute that. It's because India is a multilingual society. We have 1,652 languages, I said to you earlier.
Right.
One cannot learn all the languages. India has adopted 3 language formula. Having said that, the scientists say if you know more languages, you are more brainy and browny.
Okay.
Right. So if you become a monolingual person, your intellect is limited. But if you become multilingual person, your intellect goes high. So it's good. For an example, if a person from England speaks one language, it means he has a limited vocabulary of say 15,000 and 20,000 words. But a person from India knows at least 3 languages. It means he or she knows 45,000, 60,000 words. So whose Roman is bigger and capacious? It's Indians. It's good. Number 2, in our country, the regional languages are also flourishing. Mother tongue is great. So we all are obliged to learn at least our mother language also. There are some different boards, there is institutions, they all are promoting. But at the same time, India will progress and is progressing is because India has adopted three language formula. So in our country, at our home, that we speak one language, again at our society we speak another language, our national language, at the same time for international communication, for global communication, we speak English also. So it's good. So if you conduct a survey, so regional languages have not died. Now the speakers of the languages have come more in number. So it's good, because we have already adopted the languages, but at the same time, the language which gives you bread and butter, if you know particular language which cannot give you bread and butter, then what is the need of that? You want to live a quality life, and that how somehow gets connected to your economy.
Right.
So your economy plays a vital role in shaping your personality. I hope you'll agree.
Of course.
So this is what that we must understand, that to make a pretext that the regional language will die, we should not adopting language, will be a fake claim. Thank you.
All right, sir. You must be aware that government institutions, government schools, they teach English as well, but the quality of English is not up to the mark. So how do you respond to that the lack of quality English education in India?
Yeah, I have hands-on experience on that subject, because the British Lingua was given a contract by the government of Bihar to impart spoken English and a capacity building program to the government high school teachers of Bihar. We conducted the programs in the, some of the districts there. We had hands-on experience. Of course, there is a need for bringing about a quality education in government schools.
Right.
Of course. What happens? As for the teaching is concerned, you involve politics in that also. You begin to appoint the teachers, whether they are quality, whether they are qualified or not. That's very bad. There should be quality control on that. You have a quality control on different things. Why don't you have a quality control on education?
Right, absolutely.
We have the different boards which checks the quality, whether quality food is there or not. Okay, for the consumers, whether certain items and consumer items are quality or not.
Right.
But there should be quality education. You check in different schools and colleges where the quality education is provided or not. So of course, this we must come forward. The civil society should also come forward and see whether the children are provided quality education. It's because if the children are provided quality education, it means the society will have the quality education. In our country, what happens? We forget the part of the moral education and other things like even the language. The language must be given the priority, because you see whether you become doctor, engineer, but what comes when you interact with a person, it's through your communication.
Right.
So the proper communication must be taught.
Right.
So I do agree with that. Thank you.
All right. So your views on significance of English as a court's language and an effective tool to deliver justice in India?
See, it's not my personal view. I must tell you. You click the button on the website of the Supreme Court of India. On the very first page, you will see the court's language is English.
Is English.
I mentioned in my book.
That's there.
It means if you go to Supreme Court of India seeking justice, you are expected to know English. Your petition in the language other than English will not be accepted. What does it mean? For justice, you need to know English. You need to communicate in English. Only then will be heard. Only then justice will be delivered. It's a big thing, the Supreme Court. More or less the similar situation is in high court and lower courts. However, there is a provision in high courts you can approach the court in original language also. Right. See the practical thing, what happens. But at the same time, you see what the big problem is in that we are a multilingual society. If you go to West Bengal and everything happens in Bangla language, if you go to Malayalam, Kannada speaking belt, everything happens in their languages. The judges cannot come to the Supreme Court because the language barrier will be there. The language will play a barrier while delivering justice. But then there will be the question of favorism. The court cannot do a favor. The court should deliver a justice. Then the country has to adopt one language, and therefore the country has already adopted one language, English. So we all are citizens expected to know English. We cannot say that, oh, we are ignorant of the language. Ignorance is no excuse in the court of justice. Whether you're educated, uneducated, whether you're literate or illiterate, you all are expected to know English, even for social justice.
Absolutely.
You see, if somebody approaches the court and from the who has no English background, English education, will have to highly depend on the counsel, the advocates. Whatever he or she will tell will be accepted by the persons. So that's when you are going to face, when you are going to seek justice, you should know what you are writing, what you are signing, what you are attesting.
Right.
Thank you.
Sir, adding to that, Constitution of India is also written in English.
Yes, that's true. That's true. This is the truth. That this is what I have tried to bring in my book.
Right.
Sir, what makes your latest book different from the other books that you have already written?
You see, I've devoted my life for the cause of taking English to the common man. That's not because I love English. It's because to help the people get their fair share in the society. It was way back 1993 when I established British Lingua. When a group of the students came to me seeking my help in helping them improve their oral communication skills in English, I began to help them, and they got success in that, in their employment, in winning bread and butter for themselves and for their families. I began to write books and began to do a lot of research on the subject also. But although books are related to the personal growth of individuals, English communications, such as a spoken English kit, which is a very popular book in the market, delves deep into learning English, interview manual, celebrate your life. So this book is quite different from that. Though it is somehow related, it gives an outline of how English has played a role in our country and will play a role in the days to come. So it is an eye-opener. The book is an eye-opener for the masses. I hope when you go through the book, you'll love to read it.
Sure.
Thank you.
In the book, you describe English as an equalizer and emphasize that it has an emancipatory role to play in Indian society. Can you please explain?
Of course, you see, for an example, you take Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar. How it emancipated him from the poverty. When I say English is emancipatory language, I mean to say that it gives you freedom from poverty, from the shackles of the poverty, because you become quality persons. It improves your employability skills. When it enhances your employability skills, you become employable in the market. You either get employment, either you get a job, you get employment to others. It opens a window on the world. So, you see, a lot of literature, around 85% literature of the world is in English. So, if you do not know English, you are deprived of all these opportunities. It gives you access to the world education, access to the world communication. So naturally, it gives you emancipation from where you are. It improves your thought process because you learn a lot of things. As many of the students have reported to us saying that though, what they were yesterday and what they are today when they have got access to English education. So it plays in a secondary role. I don't mean any politics in that, but then you see if the families where English has reached, how they have come out of poverty minority in our country. And therefore, I do say English is an acceptable language in our country. Thank you.
Alright. This is a very important question for you, sir. As a head of British Lingua, you have been an integral part of project disseminating English skill among Indians. What prompted you to bring in a book that vociferously emphasizes on the role English plays in maintaining social harmony and national integration?
Of course, it integrates our country. As I told you many times. So, India being a multilingual society, we have to have a language which can integrate us, which can link us. When under the leadership of Pandit Nehru, it was decided that English would continue in India for 15 years only. But what happened in 1963? We could not do that. Because when the politician from South, the representatives of the society from South said that no, they would adopt Hindi. That could not take place. And then we had to declare that English would continue in India for infinite time in 1963 when Language Act was passed. So it means here, English becomes equalizer in the country, integrates our country, okay, and it has become forced to reckon with in our country. So it's a blessings in disguise, you can say. Right? That is there. And when you go through those books, you will find all these things there. Thank you so much.
So, sir, thanks a lot. It was really an awesome experience interacting with you, sir.
Thank you.
I've learned a lot from 1963 to till now, and then 1993 till now. Now, you have actually played a vital role in spreading English education.
Thank you,
sir.
Karthik, so much.
Thanks. And now we are going to end this show. We'll meet you soon. Thank you.